Everybody, and welcome to ESO Daily. I am your host, Mystic Raven. Okay, now, normally I don't give out PvP builds. Normally. Typically. But I'm tired of the Stamina Night Blades just getting their way. I mean, it's just cheap. You know, and I have the builds myself. I'm not going to say I don't have some of these builds. You know, I have the proc dot and drop. I have the Stamina Night Blade, you know, so I'm aware of what these classes do. And, you know, just gankers. I was just tired of gankers, you know, because I'd get on different characters and test things. I was just tired of it. So today, I'm going to be introducing you guys to a anti-gank build. And I love it. I love this build because it works. It does exactly what I need it to do. And if you're a player, if you're one of these players who are new to the game and is just tired of getting ganked, or you're a vet and you keep going in, you get ganked and you get jumped and you don't even get a chance to play, then this build is for you. This build is designed for the players who want to PvP and is just tired of dying instantaneously by gankers. So that's what this build is made for. And I call it just the anti-gank build. That's what this build is called. This is an ESO Daily exclusive. I don't typically give out PvP builds. I've only given out one. But this is for my viewers and for the people who hate getting bullied, especially in PvP. So here we go. So I got food buff up. And I'm in Cyrodiil because you can run this in Cyrodiil and Battlegrounds. It works out really nice. But I wanted to show you guys my stats in Cyrodiil. So my max health is 43,354. Yes, it's a tank build. Max Magicka is 11,627. Max stamina is 22,204. And stamina recovery is 1504. Health recovery is 885. Magical recovery is 668. All of this is important. Critical resistance is 1,778. If you want to boost that up, you can. I'm fine with it. I'm more than cool with it. To the left, you're going to go ahead and see I've allocated 38 points into health, 26 points into the stamina, and I'm running the tower, which gives max stamina. Okay. Now, this is a Night Blade, ironically. But you can kind of adapt this build into any of the classes because each of them have different effects that you can kind of see where you're going. But the gear is pretty solid here. And so we're going to be using now I didn't upgrade all this. Like I said, I was just testing it. We're going to be using the leeching plate set, right? So it gives 1,014 max health. 4% healing taken, 4% healing taken. If you can be Argonian with this build, I suggest the Argonian all the way. For even no matter what race, what class you go, Argonian for this is just perfect. And 5, when you take damage, you have an 8% chance to summon a cloud of leeching poison under the attacker that deals 1,561 poison damage in a 4 meteor radius around them. It's around them every second for 5 seconds and heals me 100% of the damage. Okay, so that is, you know, I mean, do the math. You know, 1,500 times 5. That's a nice amount of healing, guys. It's really nice. Now, it's only an 8% chance, so you kind of want to get hit a lot to proc this. It is a tank set. So you want to get hit a lot, but this is going to keep you sustained and it's dealing damage to them. Okay, just keep that in mind. I'm not done yet. Now, currently I'm using the Fury set. Now, the Fury set I've never liked in the past, but for this build it works out pretty decent. And the reason I chose the Fury is just because it gave health, stamina, and weapon damage. The 5th piece bonus I don't really like too much because the scaling effect, it's true, the more you get hit by criticals, your weapon damage increases and it'll increase, you know, the effect of the leeching. Okay, so it will do that. Add that with the passive into the heavy armor, which is the Wrath passive. And it increased my weapon and spell damage by 10 for 5 seconds, scaling up to 20 times every time I get hit. So that works with it in conjunction. So I kind of liked it for that, but you know, I'm trying to maybe you can put like a full health in here, but you need some damage. That's why I like the stamina, and I also like the weapon damage. But if you wanted to go with like say Plague Doctors, and then glyph your those pieces with stamina, you can do that. That is doable. So it's flexible. And of course, I am running the tremor scales. Now, a lot of people are automatically going to say, "This is cancer. This is cancer." No, because I'm a tank. I don't dish out a lot of damage, but I have to go ahead and deal out some. Tremorscale is great because it works for this. Because when I taunt an enemy, I have a 50% chance to cause a Dune Ripper to burst from the ground, dealing 7,678 physical damage to all enemies within 4 meters, and reducing their movement speed by 70% for 4 seconds. This can occur every 4 seconds. So, Tremorscale is definitely the choice to go with on this. Okay, because you're a tank, and this build does scale, so it's kind of interesting. It has a scaling effect, and you're using the Dune Ripper, the Tremorscale. Now, this is medium infused. This isn't ideal. I need to get the impen, but right now I have Divine and Light to keep the Undaunted passive. Everything else is heavy. Everything, right? So that's the gear. So Fury, Tremorscale, and Leeching. Now, let me go into the abilities here. And let me show you guys how this works. For instance, Shield Assault is going to be our interrupt, our CC, our gap closer, our interrupt, and also we're getting a damage shield. Okay? So that's the ability we're going to use for the assault. We're going to use Pierce Armor. It's going to deal 4,124 physical damage, taunts them, also debuffs them. So they're going to take more damage because their physical and spell resistance is out the window. Boom, gone. And that once you do that, it increases the damage of your abilities and your teammates' abilities. So it's really nice. Refreshing Path. Now this is to activate my Shadow Barrier passive. So I can go ahead and increase my physical and spell resistance. And it's also going to give me a self-heal, being Argonian. And with the sets I'm having on, I'm going to basically benefit from this effect. So I want to go ahead and do that. Absorb Magic. The Mage Sorks are a pain in the ass with the Crystal Frag proc. So they'll hit, the Haunt on you. They'll go ahead, put all the delayed effects, hit you with the Wrath, and then hit you with the Crystal Frag, you're dead. Right? Unless you can figure out a way to absorb it or deflect it or do something, usually in an open area, you're toast. With this, you're not. So I hit the Absorb Magic, comes in, boom, I absorb 12,789 damage, and then I heal for 17% of my max health. It can't kill me. No more. No more. It's gone. It's gone forever. The Sorks can never kill me with some cheap-ass fucking tactic. Again, it can never happen. Swallow Soul. Just keep this on. I don't not use this. I keep it just for the minor vitality, increase my healing received by 10%. Okay, I think you guys see where I'm going with this. Now, this needs more if I want the one that absorbs spell projectiles as well, but I have Shield Wall. I don't use it too often. It's a call. All right, here's the bread and butter of it. Spike Bone Shield. Okay, Spike Bone Shield. Surround myself with a Whirlwind of Bones absorbing damage equivalent to 18% of my max health, hence why I have high health. That's why I suggested that if you want to run Plague Doctors, you can do that. You can run Pact or whatever you want to do. Absorbing 18% of your max health and returning 40% of the damage back to melee attackers. Allies can activate the Bone Wall synergy, absorbing damage up to 35% of theirs. So just keep that in mind. I'll explain how the combo works, but there it is. The Bone Shield. Power Extract. This is my debuff. All right. So debuff's very important, right? We know this. You should be running some sort of debuff, especially with tanks. And this can apply to me as well. So if I get hit with this, it can be a negative thing. But you really want to apply this to healers and other tanks, decreasing their healing received because you're going to deal disease damage. Disease reduces the amount of healing they receive. Okay, it throws a debuff on them. But this also gives me major brutality, increasing my weapon damage by 20%. I'm also going to have another CC effect besides my shield charge, which is my mass hysteria, which also is going to fear a factor, because I'm going to get feared by Nightblades. I know that, but I'm going to fear them back as well. Of course, I'm going to be using Resolving Vigor on this as well, healing myself for 8,292 health over 5 seconds, and nearby allies for 6,396 health over 5 seconds. Also, I'm going to be using Leeching Strikes. This change, it used to have to be activated, but now you just, use the ability. Basically, my light and heavy attacks restore 1,785 health and restores 106 stamina over 20 seconds. The second part is the nice aspect. You restore up to 4,270 additional stamina when the effect ends based on the length of time that Leeching Strikes was active. Now, here's the big deal for me, guys, and why I'm suggesting for the Argonian for it, no matter what class you go. Because you can go different classes with this kind of setup, except you're not going to have Mass Hysteria, and you're not going to have Leeching Strikes. So you'd replace these with other effects. You're not going to have Power Extract. You probably would put in another build. Like, for example, if you're a Templar, you'd probably throw your jabs right there, right? And also for the ultimate, I'm using Soul Tether on this. But these are standard. You're going to put, whatever to give you another effect right here, but this gives me Shadow Barrier and a self-heal. Gives me Major Expedition too, which really works out nice. And you can kind of slot your class-based abilities around this build. So I got 3 non-class-based abilities on that bar. I got 2 non-class-based abilities. So you can kind of do that. It's flexible. You can work around it. But the Argonian for me is the big deal for this build, because you're going to be using the Leeching Plate set, right? When you look down here, you're going to increase your healing done and healing received. Healing received is the biggest one, right? Well, I want to keep increasing that healing received. I want to get the most out of that leeching, what it's going to give me. So the more I can get healing received, the better off I'm going to be receiving the effect from the Leeching Plate. The Bone Shield right here, guys. Basically what this does is you want to get ganked with this build. You're asking to get ganked with this build is what you're asking to do. Because you want to use the Spiked Bone Shield. You want to go ahead and debuff them. Then you want to go ahead and then just hit them with the debuff and with the Tremor. And basically what they're doing, once you debuff them, they get tremored. And then all of a sudden the Spiked Bone Shield starts firing with the Leeching Plate. They're killing themselves is what they're doing. You don't really even have to do a fucking thing. You don't have to do shit. You just ask them to keep hitting you. You just keep throwing shields. If it's a Sork, you just keep throwing the Absorb and the Bone Shield. If it's a Stam, just hit Bone Shield and throw yourself heal. They'll kill themselves. I promise you. They'll just kill themselves. Most of the time they're on top of you. They don't see the green pool of gook underneath of them. And they don't understand that the Bone Shield is hitting them. And then all you have to do is just randomly keep hitting with the Tremorscale proc. Boom. Boom. And they're killing themselves. That's what it does to these gankers. It gives you enough survivability to withstand their initial assault. You just keep shields up. And you just go ahead and just keep just feeding it. Letting them kill themselves. It's pretty badass in that aspect. It has some offensive application, so I was PvP in Cyrodiil. That's why I'm in Cyrodiil last night, and I wanted to apply this. I wanted to test this out in every aspect, Cyrodiil, BGs. And it's kind of nice because I was there, and so if I got a pocket healer, I could be in a group of like 20, 30, and I could withstand it if I had a pocket healer. Now, if I didn't have a pocket healer, depending on the PvPers, about 4 or 5 in Cyrodiil. I could just kind of stand there, whatever. But, I'd even stand in front of keeps and let people focus fire on me. I even jumped in front of Nightblades, just not even hitting certain abilities to see what this build could do. Then I would throw shields, and I wanted to test it. I wanted to take as much abuse as possible and test combos as much as possible. That's how I wanted to do this test and build. I know a lot of people are just going to be like, this is so fucking cancerous. This is so fucking cancerous. But here's the deal, guys. There's people running cancer builds, a shitload of nasty, infested, gross fucking builds out there, and we have to come up with a build to counter it, right? And sometimes you have to fight cancer with cancer to win. You have to. You have to do it. Now, if nobody hits you, nothing happens. Nothing happens. But if they hit you, you just want to just take the abuse. Take a beating, because that's what's nice about this. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to throw my bone shield, let the leeching plate do its thing. It's only an 8% chance. The leeching set doesn't kill them by itself. But add the bone shield effect with leeching and then the tremor, randomly, they kill themselves. It's a fact. And then you debuff them. Make sure you debuff them so they can't heal with vigor. So you want to reduce that. So let's get into champion points, because I'm on a Nightblade. I prefer the Nightblade for this, other than my other tank. And this is why. Let me show you guys something. Okay, so we're going to get into champion points here, right? Alright, so I put 39 into Blessed. Why? Because I'm healing myself. I'm an Argonian. I can increase my healing with my Vigor. So I'm going to increase Vigor's effect. So I'm going to get more healing received. I want to increase Vigor's capability. So I'm going to go ahead with 9.45. Keep in mind that also applies to Leeching's effect. Master at Arms, I went 22.25. I don't really care about a lot of damage, but I want the effects from the leeching and my other effects to scale higher, so we're going to pump up Master at Arms. Nothing's in the Thermitors, nothing's in the Precise Strikes. I don't do any critical. This is all base damage, because sets don't proc crits anymore. That's important. So I want to increase the base damage of everything without worrying about any crits. I want some penetration. I'm running 2 sharpen leeching swords, and I have 1 in defending. But so when I'm on the sharpen side, I have some pen, and then I have pen here. But ideally, I can assault, which is nice. The Fury set does do that with the Wrath, so it is a nice factor. I went 14% to Mighty, never go 15 because of diminishing returns. I put 16 into Ironclad, 7.40. Resistance, I always bump up points in resistance, even if I'm wearing impen pieces. I never go all impen, right? Because I want to get the most out of my chest and my legs and my head with the infuse. The rest I'll usually go with the impen. The reason being, I can get more max pull from those pieces, and then I can offset the difference loss, actually capitalize more in resistance. So I put 39 to get an additional 1,037. All right, so Hardy and Elemental Defender are split between 10.15. Bastion, okay, I'm running a lot of shields. You guys see this? I'm running like 3 or 4 different shields. So 18.50. I want to increase that shield capability, especially in Cyrodiil, because we get our shields cut down by half. Quick recovery. Once again, I want to increase my healing receipt just a little more, not too much. Yeah, don't want to overkill it. But 5.46. Warlord, 9.04. Sprinter, just a little bit, 277. I didn't put any in the Siphoner. I'm not dealing a lot of damage. Mooncalf, 12.45. I am using some magical abilities to use for Shadow Barrier my fear, so I want some magical recovery up a little bit more. So we're going 11.25. I want health recovery. It's just simple, I want my health up a little bit more as well, so I want 10.15. None in tenacity. This is a PvP build. I don't anticipate to recap resources from weaves. Plus, I get the passive in the heavy armor, which gives me 25% more on heavy attacks for return. This is the big one for me, Bafal. Okay, so I am going to be using disease damage, right? With my drain and stuff. It's going when that disease applies to them, it reduces their healing recede. I want to use Bafal, right? So I'm going to increase the effectiveness of the healing reductions applied to them by an additional 25.75%. This is going to help kill those nasty fucking healers and anybody running heals. Now, this can apply to this build as well, but they better have a lot more in Befal'd in this 25 if they're planning on solo taking me out. I haven't been like total, like on 1v1s I do really well with this build. I mean, it takes a long time, but then like it takes them forever. I've had players just bail, just say, fuck this, I'm out, I'm not fucking with you, and they will bail. And that happens a lot with this build. Forewarning, they won't even fuck with you, they'll just leave you alone. So, Tumbling, just 1%, 2 points. And Shadow Ward, I just want to reduce the cost of blocking just a little by 2.45. Keep in mind, I'm in Cyrodiil. This is not a PvE build, this is a PvP build. And of course, I have nothing in the... oh yeah, I have the 39 Apprentice. But that's how the champion points are laid out for this build in Cyrodiil. So, I just wanted to give this build out, guys. It's pretty badass. You know, I'm happy with it. I really am. I wanted to give it to you guys. It's nice. It really is. It's a nice build. Really nice build. Just wanted to throw it out there. This is the first. This will never happen again, more than likely. I can't say never. But I got tired of the Viper people rolling in Viper. Coming in, ganking the fuck out of you. It's polluting Battlegrounds at the moment, and I just was so sick of it. I'm like, oh, fuck this, man. Mystic, you gotta think of something. Think of something, Mystic. Think of something. And especially in Cyrodiil, I mean, you have it all the time anyways in Cyrodiil. It's nothing new, but I was like, yo, Mystic, you gotta think of something. And all of a sudden, I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna take the leeching set, and I gotta use like more like effects to whatever. Now, which tank am I gonna grab? Oh, I'll grab my Argonian Nightblade. And yeah, it worked out nice. It works out great. Excellent. Yeah, now also keep in mind, here's another thing too I want to point out. If you're going to replace the Fury set with like another health set, the big deal here is your bone shield will actually increase. It's a fact, right? It will. But you'll lose more offensive capability. Okay? So, to me, this was kind of like, I like some of the offensive capability. I mean, I don't want to be a tank that can't do any damage. And that was the trade-off. So you can adjust this as needed, but you definitely want to get this leeching. If you want to know where to get the leeching, it's in White Gold Tower, I believe. So, yeah. Leeching set, White Gold Tower, I believe. It's either that or ICP, but I want to say White Gold. But yeah, just go ahead and get it. And also, make sure when you're glyphing jewelry, you want 1 health recovery, 1 stamina recovery, 2 stamina recoveries. Right, guys? They're going to drain you guys. And also keep in mind with the Argonian passive, right? And this is kind of very important here because you're going to get drained. Right? They're going to use poison drains. All the top PvPers, I do it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I use drains. Okay? It is what it is. I do. But when I go ahead and I, right here, drink a potion, I'm going to restore 4,620 health, magicka, and stamina. Alright? Plain and simple. Just get trash pots. You don't even need the immovable pots. Just get trash pots. You'll be fine. It works out great. You can run health, stamina. I usually either run health or stamina on trash pots just to keep drinking and use my little Argonian potion junkie. So, but yeah, a lot of pots. Just use trash pots for that ability. And also keep in mind, guys, in the heavy armor, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, why I didn't put in more in any tenacity. Increase the magicka and stamina and of your heavy attacks restored by 25%. Right? So, add this with the leeching. Make sure you guys keep this up. So, the combo, you always want to keep leeching up. You want to go ahead, you want to charge in, pierce them. Throw the refreshing path, and basically CC them the fucking back if there's more than one. If you get 2 on you, CC 1, go ahead, jump in, shield charge him, pierce armor him, and just stay on top of him until the one just starts beating on you. When the one's beating on you, just keep throwing your shields. The shield rotation is very, very important. So if it's a magicka user on me, I know that. I'm going to hit the absorb magic, and I'm going to throw my bone shield and my self heal. Right? Hit the debuff, boom, boom, boom. If it's just stamina, anything, I don't worry about the absorb magic if it's just stamina. Just go ahead, spike bone shield, debuff, heal. Spike bone shield, debuff, heal, pierce. Just repeatedly. Hit the ulti up. stun them, you know, works out great. Works out really good, man. Love this build. Yeah. So everybody's going to say it's cancer. I know they're going to. It's not cancer. Just playing with the mechanics that's given to me to counter the cancer. That's all I'm doing. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, post below. Thank you once again and always. Have a nice day.